Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel, coming back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler platter videos, series of videos I've been doing for the while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, at the time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I just got back from putting some money in the bank, so I'm feeling a little good. It's good. It's a good feeling putting money in. Not all. I mean, it depends on what you're taking it out for, but yeah, you know, bills and stuff. But yeah, that didn't have anything to do with anything. I'm just in a good mood. But anyway, it's a super simple format, folks. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try out food and/or drink items. I'm gonna let you know all about it. Whilst I'm doing so, probably gonna have a bit wider of a smile on my face today, because again, just like hooray. But yeah. I'm inside the truck. I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means that I found some shit on my way home from work to review, and that is definitely the case today. I specifically got this from Walmart because I had to stop off at Walmart and get some supplies. Well, with the supplies and the needing to sustain my life and such. So what is it? What did I not use the money that I just put into the bank to buy? Well, folks, it is, boom! Yeah, that works. It is Chamberlain coffee cinnamon bun latte with almond and coconut milk. It's plant-based. Yeah, it's got a silly raccoon with a big old cinnamon bun. In reality, he would probably not be that adorable. I've dealt with raccoons on multiple occasions in my life. They're, not as adorable as you'd like. I'm not saying that, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating. I'm hating a little bit because, you know, they've caused me some problems. But, you know, but in general, I mean, they're silly. And they're just, you know, they're little trash animals. The only problem is that when you run into one that just is like, I don't give a damn. That's when you have to be a little bit, because I used to work at a gas station before my current job. And I was the overnight guy. And I'd have to go over there and take the trash out over to our little dumpster off to the side. It had this little plastic like fence thing around it. And every now and again you'd open up that door and there'd be a big fat raccoon going through the trash, not even 2 feet away. So I definitely got in the habit of kicking the shit out of the door before I went in. But that didn't always work. So, anyway, let's try a thing with an adorable raccoon on it. Because again, I don't want to hate on raccoons. You know, they're living the lives that we've basically created for them, so we can't be that pissed off at them. I know in Japan they're like a huge problem. They imported them as pets, and then people, like, they're not, raccoons aren't pets, folks, okay? They're not. They're adorable when they're little. When they get older, they get ornery, and it's like, man, oh man. And I've known people who've actually sold raccoons. Through my dad and stuff, he used to be in the exotic pet trade, so let's try a thing. This is uncomplicated and delicious, inspired by my very own recipe, Love Emma. Apparently it's from Emma. It's okay. It's more bitter than I was expecting. Like, a lot more bitter. Because the thing is, I'm not a big coffee guy, but, like, I'll drink coffee-related things, or, like, coffee-adjacent things. This definitely qualifies. And really my biggest gripe with coffee is the bitterness. It's a bit much for me. I'm not a big bitter guy. With this, I mean, with the different elements in it, it does temper the bitterness, you know, to some extent, but not as much as I was expecting. I was expecting more along the lines of, like, you know, kind of like a Frappuccino type of thing, where it's like, really, it's hardly coffee. This is definitely still coffee forward. And, you know, it's not, I'll say, like I said, the bitterness is more than I was expecting. It's definitely my least favorite part of the drinking experience, but I don't find it horrendous. It's still perfectly drinkable. It's just more than I would like to be there. As for the rest of the experience, yeah, I mean, you can taste the different milks and stuff. I don't know if I personally, I don't think I could differentiate between the almond / coconut milk, but like I'm not an expert in either of those things. But it definitely has a nice creaminess to it. And there is like a bit of a cinnamon taste. And it's not just cinnamon. Like it definitely is evocative of a cinnabon. Or a cinnamon bun. Cinnabon is like a actual trademark thing, I'm sure. And actually years ago, back when I was not a lad, but back when I was a very young adult, when I was like probably 18 or 19, I worked at a supermarket, and Cinnabon actually came out with their own coffee drinks. And I drank the shit out of those things. I drank way too many of those. But they were super tasty. If Cinnabon ever wants to bring them back, they got my vote. I'll say this too. As I'm drinking more of it, the bitterness is subsiding a little bit. And I found that that's a pretty common thing with not even just coffee drinks, but a lot of drinks. Usually, the funkiest taste is the first drink of it. That's usually, like, it's something about, like, the way, like, the ingredients and stuff just kind of make their way throughout the can. I don't know, they seem to settle on the top or something. And even if you shake it up, because I did shake this up before it was on camera, it's just that first go tends to be either the best or the worst, depending, but it's definitely the most impactful. Now that that's gone, the bitterness is more subtle. It has a tiny bit of sweetness, but I'm guessing that's more, well, does it have sugar? 1 gram of sugar, so not a lot of sugar. 70 milligrams of caffeine. That's a decent amount of caffeine. It's not, by like energy drink standards or anything, but, yeah, I mean, I like it for what it is. It's not what I was expecting. I think, 2 questions have to be asked, folks. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe and sure. Maybe because I could see there being a place for something like this for me, because even though I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big coffee person, every now and again I want something that's got a little bit more to it than, again, say your Frappuccinos, which tend to just be very sweet. I could see maybe grabbing this every now and again. It would never be a regular thing for me, but I like it well enough. I like the cinnamon bun taste aspect of it, and, it's okay. Like, overall, I find it to be a reasonably enjoyable drink. It's not a standout or anything, but I like that it offers something a little bit different than what I'm used to. Now, as for recommending it, sure, it depends on what you want, though. Because, again, if you're like me and you're going into it expecting something very specific, well, it's not that. It's its own thing. But I think if you're somebody who's into coffee-related drinks, and maybe you're more coffee-oriented than I am, then it's absolutely worth giving a shot. I mean, it's got the whole plant-based aspect to it. That might be a selling point for you. It might not be. But for me, I'm just going off the taste, and the taste is decent. So it's not too sweet, a little bit bitter, but, not too bad. And like I said, I like the cinnamon bun taste. Anyway, that's going to do it for me on this one. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly Cinnabon-tastic rest of your life. Because, folks, Cinnabon is just, they made that work. They just made who was it? There was this one comedian who had a whole Cinnabon joke. It's been too long. My brain doesn't have it in it. But there was a whole Cinnabon joke. And it made perfect sense. Trust me, if I could have remembered it, it would have fit well here. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But you do what you can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing to do in the world. We would live in times that can be very stressful, very distressing. And when we run into situations like that, it's very important we go over there, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to try yourself out some Chamberlain coffee cinnamon bun latte. Maybe you're going to be like, all right, that's pretty good. I can kind of go with that. But what was that thing that the fat guy with the blue armpit was talking about? Well, you're going to remember that I was talking about the Cinnabon drink that they had back in the day, and maybe you're going to go over there and be like, I need to try that. So then you go over there, you try to find some, but it's all old and expired. Maybe there's some in another market, but it turns out there isn't. I don't know, maybe there is. I haven't heard of it, though. So then you go to Cinnabon, and you beg and you plead, and you're like, please bring it back. I gotta try it. Finally, after going on some sort of hunger strike or some shit, they agree to bring it back. It's a limited time thing. You finally get to try it, and maybe it's not as good as I cracked it up to be. To be fair, I was like 18 or 19 years old. I was kind of dumb. So, still kind of dumb, but I'd like to think I'm more smart than Doom. Ooh! I think that's the end. Goodbye.